Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to allow access to a storage account from a function app. Now, a storage account has a few different mechanisms to provide access to it. So it's got access keys where you can use the access keys and an API. You can actually create a shared access signature where you essentially grant a token even for a limited time or different permissions. Or the best approach is to use what's called a managed identity. Now, a managed identity is basically a service principal, okay? It's managed by the system, it's managed in Azure, and there's two different forms of it. You've got a system identity and a user managed identity. Now, the system identity is what I'm going to show today. System identity is managed by an Azure resource itself. It's the lifetime of that resource. I'm actually going to create that system identity for the function app. I could go and create a new managed identity. Just quickly search. So I could go into managed identities and create one manually, but I'm not going to do that today. So, okay, we're going to jump into the function app itself, and then we go down to identity. Clicked a bit too quick. We go to identity, and now we're going to switch on a managed identity. I'm going to press save, agree. Okay, just enabling. Okay, so now I'm going to assign some roles to that managed identity. I could go into the storage app and find this identity and give it access, but I can also do it this way from the other end, let's say. So I'm going to select the scope. It's going to be storage. I'm going to select the resource. That is the storage account that I have in this resource group that you saw earlier. I'm going to select the role, and I'm going to go for blob contributor. Storage blob data contributor. Okay, I'm going to press save. That is adding that at the moment. Okay, so the assignment has been added. Now, in order to check that, let's quickly jump back to the storage account. We go down here to the storage account. We go into access control, and now we look at role assignments. And you can see now that that demo function app has basically the managed identity has been mapped onto the storage account. Okay, so now that that's done, what does the code look like? So I've already prepared a solution. So I'll just make it a bit bigger here. Make the code a bit bigger. So there's a few things I've done. This is just a file new project. It's a functions application. I've written a little bit of code, not much, and I've added some references. So if I look here at my NuGet references, you can see that I have installed under Azure. I have installed Azure Identity and an Azure Storage Blob. So I need those two references, okay. Then I go back and we look at the code, and we'll have a quick check what I've done. So basically I've commented out a bit of the code that appeared here. I've actually just returned a hard-coded string for now for this demo, and I'm calling a function create blob, okay. We have a look at the create blob. What I'm actually doing here is I'm actually creating the container client, and I'm passing it the URI of the storage account. If I quickly Alt tab back to the storage account, okay, just go to the overview quickly, and we go to containers, and in the storage I've created a container called demo. If I quickly jump into that, and if I look at the properties of that, you can see the full string here. It's effectively blob.core.windows.net with the suffix of demo and the prefix of the storage account name. Okay, go back to my code. Then what I've actually done is I've passed this key piece of information here, default Azure credential. Now this is going to get the default credentials from the Azure app. So if you're running this locally, it's not going to work. It's already set up in Azure itself. So we're going to have to publish the app, right? Then I am awaiting the using of basically creating a memory stream here, right? So I'm encoding some text into a memory stream, and then I'm basically uploading that to the blob. So if we go to our function app, I've already published this. So we'll quickly go to our function app. So go back to our resource group, go to our function app, bring it on to our functions. And I think it was function 1 I had it called. So you can see there we have a function 1. If we want to go code test this thing, let me open something here on a new screen. First of all, just to give a bit of context, open a new tab. It's slow. Okay, so quickly look into the storage account. I may already have shown it, but we go to the containers and we go to the demo. You can see I have no results in there, okay? Now we come back here and I'm going to code and test. So I'm going to do a test run. So I'm just doing a post Body doesn't matter, it's not been used. I'm going to run that. The function is now running in Azure, and we look at the response. Check your container for a new blob. So basically, this is the OK object results I've sent back. And prior to running that, it actually created the blob. So I should have a new blob saying this is the content. The name of it should be my blob. So we just go back here to our storage account and we refresh. There's our new blob. We quickly click on that. We should be able to download that. All right, let's go to my downloads, just my file manager. So just came down here, 1515. Yeah, hit F4 for a quick edit. This is the content. So that's how to do it. I mean, basically, managed identities can be used between Azure resources. As I said, it basically wraps the service principle. And this is the prescribed way of doing it in Azure today. Thank you very much.